Hello and welcome back to the Remake tutorial. So here we are with a working Remake app on our local computer. And the first thing we're going to do is just sign up for an account, and I'll just use a fake username and password. Um, and multiple users will be able to sign up to your eventual Remake app. So they'll all get their own copy of the app with their own editable data, which is the great thing about Remake. Okay, so here we have an app, and since this is a Remake starter, it starts out as actually being usable, which is not great for our tutorial, but luckily the styling comes with it too. So we do want to use the styles, but we want to take away the fact that it works. So in order to do that, we're going to just grab some starter HTML. So we're going to go to kanban-html.remaketheweb.com. And there we're going to find some code, and we're just going to grab this code, the raw version of this code, and we're going to copy this into our project. So it's going to be in our Remake app, inside the app folder, and then inside the pages folder. And we're going to find a file where your dynamic application lives, and it can live on other pages too, but this is the page where kind of everything starts from. Okay, so right now we have some Remake attributes here. We're just going to select all, and we're going to just paste in our raw HTML. So this has no Remake attributes on it at all. So we'll save this, and now we'll refresh the page, and we're at a good starting point for the tutorial. So now I can't drag items around, I can't click to edit them, none of these buttons work. Okay, perfect. So let's get started. So the first thing to explain is that Remake works by converting HTML, which is kind of a data structure, into JSON, which is a simple data structure. If you don't know what JSON is, please take a moment to go look that up and figure out what that is. Okay, so once Remake has converted the HTML into JSON, it takes care of everything else for you. It saves that JSON to a database, it makes sure only the current user can edit it, and it loads that data for the particular user when that user comes back to the page. So it's doing a lot for you. But let's figure out how to do that, because the one thing Remake can't do for you is figure out where the data is on your page. So we need to kind of tell it which elements represent what types of data. So let's go in here. And the first piece of dynamic data I see is this top level heading. We definitely want to be able to edit that. So the first thing we're going to do is just we're going to turn it into an object. And we do that by just attaching the HTML attribute object to it. And this is a custom Remake attribute. And it means, please, when you save this page, Remake, can you please convert this element into an object? And objects can have keys and values on them, right? So they're things that you want to store data inside of. Okay, so for the object, we're going to have an attribute called key, and then we're going to name the key. So in this case, we're going to just do header-text. And now we need to tell Remake where the data lives. So we've labeled the data, it's called header text, but now we need to say, where can Remake find that data? So we could just put it in this attribute, and this would just be some static text, right? And that would be saved to the database. But we want to actually say it's in the page. So we're going to say it's at inner text. And that means Remake is going to look for the value of this object, right, inside of the inner text of this element. So it's going to look right here. So let's see how this works. I'm going to save this page, and save that code, and refresh the page. And now I'm going to open up the console, and that's just an unrelated browser plugin issue. But I'm going to open up the console. I'm going to type in remake dot, and let's move my face over here, call save function. So we're going to save the page, and we're going to pass in document body so that it saves the entire page. Okay, cool. And now we can see we have dev mode on, so we can see which action it's performing. It's saving the entire page. And the data it's saving is header text colon hometown dance recital. And we can actually see this. This is a really cool part. We can see this by going into our app data folder, going into the database, going into the user app data, and finding the user that we're currently using. So that's Mary. And we have actually all the data here already. So we're going to actually delete that and just replace it with an empty object and try saving it again. And that's just because we're working with the example Remake app. That's my bad. Okay, so now we saved it again. Now we have header text equals hometown dance recital, and that's all we have. So this is a really good start. Now we just want to keep adding data. So let's see. So the first thing we come across next is this stack. So if you look at this, this is a stack right here. And it's basically a list of items. And then the board, if we look at the board actually, so the board has lots of stacks in it. So there's actually two different data types here. Two of the same data types here. We have two arrays. The board needs to be an array because it needs to store multiple stacks. And then the stack at some point has to have an array inside of it too. So let's do the board first. So we're gonna just put this on a new line. This isn't anything special about Remake, it's just a nice way to organize the code. And we're gonna just say this is an array. And we're also, I think, going to give this array a name so that it has a name in the parent object. So that's really easy to do. All we have to do is say key key equals and then the name. So we're going to just say I think stacks would be good because it's going to contain all of the stacks. This array is. And because that's what this element is doing, it's containing all of these stacks. Okay, great. So let's save this page. And also, it's just kind of a good practice to wrap this in an object so that it knows that this key belongs to an object. Okay. So we'll do that, and let's try saving again and see if everything turns out okay. So now we have header text hometown dance recital, which we expected, and stacks is equal to an array that has no items in it. But that's perfect because we didn't add any items to it yet. Okay, cool. So the next thing is going to be to make this stack an object as well, and then tell it where to find its data. So we have stack and stack list down here. Okay, so at the top level, I think we just want to make this an object because that gives us a lot more flexibility. So we'll say object, and if I just save that and refresh the page and save again, we're going to see we have a stack with an array with one item in it, and that's just going to be an empty object. So perfect, we're doing good so far. Okay, so now we've got this object, and this has some text in it that we want to be, dynamic. So we're going to, you know what? And I actually just thought of something. Let's actually just undo this really quick with the stack, because I just realized that we have multiple stacks on this page. So if I multi-select them in Sublime Text, that's just Command D. We're going to multi-select these, and we're actually going to just add object to each one of these. So now if I save the page, refresh, and call this, now we have an array of 5, and those are 5 empty objects. Okay, perfect. So now the next part is to try to get this data in there. So this is the stack heading, right? So we could add another object onto this element here and that object would be merged in with this parent object. But I think a nicer way to do it is just to attach data at the highest level you can in Remake. So I'm going to actually attach this data up here. So I'm going to say key and then stack heading. And the reason we want to attach it as high as possible is because that gives this key more control over its children elements. So we're going to say key equals stack heading, and here we can't say inner text because that would mean the inner text of this element, and we never want to replace the inner text of this entire element. But we do want the inner text of this element, this paragraph tag. So instead we're going to do a search. And search means we're going to actually go searching for a key that matches this. And then we're going to look inside of that. So, and we're doing the multi-edit again. So we're editing all of the different stacks at once. Okay. So we're going to go down to here to the stack text, and let's just select all of those. And we're going to put this on a new line. And we're going to make this a target, because what the search directive looks for is a target attribute. And we're going to say target, and then we just need to match that against the search attributes key. So we're going to say stack heading. And then we just need to tell Remake where to find the actual data. So we're going to just say inner text. Okay, so hopefully that works. Let's try it. Let's refresh the page, save the page again, and let's see what we got. So stacks and stack heading, boom, we've got them all in there. So we're just saving the data right now. We're not making it editable or sortable. That will come next, and that would be much easier than what we're doing here. But this is we're laying the foundation for Remake so that it understands the page. Okay, so the next thing we want to do, we're saving the stack heading, we're saving the page heading. The next thing we want to do is add these items. Okay, so let's go back up to the top. And let's see, we have the stack list. So obviously this is going to be an array, right? Because it's going to contain multiple items, multiple cards to be exact. So let's put this on a new line. Just for formatting again, and we're going to say this is an array, and I think we should also give this a key inside of its parent object. Otherwise, it's not going to be able to save itself inside of the object. So we're going to say key equals, and we can just say stack list. Okay, so now if we save this, refresh, and try saving again, we are going to get stacks, array of 5, and we have stack heading, and then we have the stack list with an array of 0 items. Okay, so now let's make it have some items, right? So now we have these cards, and I think, again, we could attach the object to this paragraph tag, but in general, it's better to attach data to the top level elements. So let's select all of these div class cards. There's a lot of them on this page. We're going to select that, and we're going to just indent this, and we're going to make these all objects. And if we just save that, I don't know, I'm addicted to this, right? We refresh, and we're going to just see a bunch of objects inside of these stack lists. So we got 5 items, 9 items, 6 items, 5 items, 5 items. Really cool. Okay, so now we just need to tell it where to get the data, and we're going to say key, colon, we'll say card dash text, and we're going to go searching for it because it's not on the current element. It's inside of it. Okay, so now it's in this one here, and let's see. So yeah, this is unique to this element, so we can multi-select this really quick. It's a lot of elements to go through. Okay, and we'll indent this, and here we go, object. Or sorry, not object, my bad, target, because search is going to search for the target, and we're going to just say card text because that's going to match the key that it's searching for, and we're going to just say where it is, which is just at the inner text. Okay, perfect. So now if we refresh the page and save the page, we're going to see the data all right here. So we've got stack headings, stack heading, stack heading, stack heading. We have the main header text, and in each stack list we have objects with card text equal to exactly what they are. Confirm the venue, determine the number of chairs needed, and if we look here, we have that same data here. So that's all it takes. It's a little bit hard to get used to, but this isn't that many attributes to learn, right? We've learned about object, we've learned about key colon, we've learned about key equals, and we've learned about inner text directive as well as the search directive. And we've learned about target. And that's pretty much it in order to get our page to be savable by Remake to the current user's database. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. I promise it gets easier from here. Okay, bye.